Intros are stupid. What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to go on a random rant. One of the things I wanted to talk about was why I choose to collect what I choose to collect, and what makes knives worthwhile to me, and what do I like about them. Recently I made a video about this Boker knife. I have a lot of knives sitting in front of me here. Made a video of this Boker knife, and I screwed up a bunch of things. I called it full tang. It's actually a rat tail construction with end caps. I mixed up a bunch of things. I was calling hilts pommels and pommels hilts or whatever, and I was just messing up some stuff. Guys, I don't script my videos. So sometimes I don't. I make assumptions instead of doing some research. It's not out of laziness. It's just that's how I do things. I don't like to script stuff. So yeah, you might get some inaccurate information from me here and there, but that's what the comment section is for. So people are not shy. They'll correct me, and if you're interested in that product, check the comments, see if I was full of crap, and people in there will correct me, and you can see it that way. But beyond that, I just kind of wanted to talk about a bit about why I choose things. So for instance, this Boker Magnum Classic, I assumed when I bought this that this was full tang, because if you've seen any of my well, here's some examples of my of some of my fixed blades. So there was that. There was this cheap knife that's just like something like it's not even labeled, but it says I was told it was D2 steel, which fine, whatever. I don't mind D2, especially if it's in fixed blade form. But here's the thing. Clearly that's full tang, and that's something I really like about knives, is don't hide anything. That's a big part of the reason why I prefer and love folding knives the best, is because there's no oh, this handle material covers everything, so you really have no idea what's on the inside of that knife. Like, you can tell, and based on weight, sometimes smell, feel, sound, you can tell what knife scale materials are on a folding knife. So for instance, here's a Demco 80-20.5. Anyone who's like deep into knives and stuff would be able to tell that these knife scales are aluminum, not titanium. If they were brass, you can smell it. If they're steel, you're trying to figure out the difference between steel and aluminum and titanium. Well, one, you can use magnets, but two, you can use sound. You can tell the difference between these materials without doing crazy testing and stuff like that. Anyway, I suppose my point is that I just really prefer knives when there's no one's trying to hide anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get the point to a rat tail construction. I don't get the point to it, because it can break, and at that point you lose all of the positive benefits of using a fixed blade. You expect a certain level of durability to that device, and here's another example of a fixed blade that I would choose. This is just one huge piece of D2 steel. Like, it's not gonna break. If this breaks, you exuded an enormous amount of force on it. This is ridiculous. And you know what? In the comments, because I can't remember what this brand was, if anyone recognizes that logo and can tell me the brand, because I forget who made this knife, and I love this knife. I love the holster too. But if anyone can tell me what that is, please do. That would be awesome. Another example, here's a cold steel boot knife. This is just one piece, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sure as hell looks like one piece of steel. And I trust Cold Steel's construction quite a bit. This knife is just one piece of steel. You know, there's a K-bar wrench knife. Someone actually just commented on a really old video that I made about this. I was under the impression that these were actually made out of like random wrenches. They're not. I don't know why I believed that, but here we are. Yeah, but very cool knife. It is clearly all just one piece of steel. Love that knife. I don't have many knives that completely cover the tang or the absence of it aside from this knife. Yeah, I don't. Everything else, like, I don't know, maybe, I guess this was a cheap knife, but this Smith & Wesson, I don't know, Tonto-y dagger thing, this could be rat tail with end caps, maybe, assuming these are not real screws. But I believe this to be one piece. It sure as hell feels like, and I've given this knife hell, and with no problem. I did break the sheath though, but I glued it and then taped it, and it seems to be holding up its end of the bargain as of late. But yeah, like, that's just, you know, I want my knives to be solid. I don't want to worry that they're gonna break. I guess a good question would be then, why do I have so many more folding knives than I do fixed blades then, if I'm nervous about breaking things or I just want durability? Well, I think that the locking mechanisms on pretty much any, aside from gas station knives, the locking mechanisms are more than strong enough to hold up to what I'm doing. I'm opening boxes, you know, I'm doing normal guy EDC stuff. I'm not batoning with folding knives. So I don't know. I consider them to be more than strong enough. And there's some that are just, I mean, like the Demco right here is a perfect example, because the shark lock is said to be just as strong as the triad lock. And if something is as strong as a triad lock, I have only one knife that functions on the triad lock, and it's the 8010 here with some OG scales on it. This locking mechanism is ridiculous. Clearly I've taken apart the knife if I have these scales on it. Checked it out. It is a very intense locking mechanism. It is very rigid and solid, like just crazy. However, I do hate it also because I hate back locks. This will cut you eventually. You will do something stupid while trying to close this knife and it will cut you. I mean, maybe, but it sure as hell has almost cut me many times. That's why I like things like the shark lock, the Spyderco compression lock. Your fingers are completely out of the cutting path when you open or close the knife, right? So that's a plus. You know, also, if no one gave a shit and I could walk around with a fixed blade on me all the time, and if it wasn't uncomfortable, like sitting down with something like that on your belt, I do it all the time. But, you know, folding knives are just way more convenient. You can say whatever you want, but a folding knife just clipped on your the top of your pocket is far more convenient than having this on your belt walking around like that in public. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, let's get even bigger. Now I have a foot long piece. It's just like, I would love to do that. I would love to walk around with huge fixed blades on me all the time because it would be fun, and they're conversation starters. I would end up meeting more knife people in real life. But it's just completely inconvenient, whereas, this would be the only thing sticking out at the top of your pocket. No one's going to notice that or get upset that you're carrying a knife or whatever. I don't know what else it is that I wanted to rant about today, but I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, have a good day, guys, and stay sharp. Peace.